Hey YouTube, so as everyone should know by now, the September 1st ban list is official. It is on the Konami website, and as anyone who's seen it is knowing, it's just crazy. There's so many new cards on it, and this format is going to be a lot slower, and there's going to be way more variation in the decks that you're seeing competitive play. So I'm going to go over some of my more popular decks, updating them for the September 1st ban list, so that everyone can see how I would be playing these decks in the new format. And one of my more popular decks I'm going to be doing first, it's my Exceed Zombies deck. I've already had quite a few people asking me to update this deck, so I figured I would do that now, right before the ban list comes official, so you can get the deck ready before starting competitive play on September 1st. So I'm going to start with the monsters like I always do. So we got 3 Zombie Master. One of your key cards, obviously. It's pretty much an XYZ play on itself. So we got 3 Blue-Blooded Oni. This is, in my opinion, the best card in the deck. And until it gets semi-limited, this deck should be running completely fine. So this is a change from my last deck profile. I've upped Goblin Zombie to 3. And this has something to do with my inclusion of Inferno Reckless Summon, which was not in my last deck profile. So I've also bumped up Pyramid Turtle to 3. I don't know if I'm going to be keeping him at 3, but right now he's very good, and he does start off your plays quite a bit, so 3 seems okay now until I find something else to put in instead. I'll definitely be keeping him at least 2. Okay, now I'm going to have to apologize. This is the first time I'll ever use a proxy on my channel, and it will be the only time. I am actually getting my second copy of Mezuki either tomorrow or the next day. I already have a trade lined up, so right now I only have one Mezuki, so I'm just proxying the other one with a pretty cool looking return zombie. That is the only time you will ever see me use a proxy on this channel though. So we still have 2 copies of Shutendoji. The Lava Ball chain loop is not banned or anything like that, so it's still going in full force, and I figured you might as well include this in the deck, although the goal of the deck has changed a little bit. That is still definitely a very good combo. We got 1 Bone Crusher. I still like Bone Crusher. He is kind of becoming a fringe card. I might take him out in the future, but now that they've banned Heavy Storm, I do like to have the extra back row destruction, and he is pretty good at that. Still 1 copy of Endless Decay. This guy does come out as a huge beat stick, and I am running 3 Pyramid Turtle now, so he comes out quite often, and it's just nice to have a 4,000 attack power monster on the field sometimes. So 2 Armageddon Knight. This is a new card in the deck. The deck is now more focused on getting Blue-Blooded Oni in the graveyard so you can special summon him and use Infernal Reckless Summon to pull off some OTKs. Armageddon Knight sends Blue-Blooded Oni to the graveyard. It's very good for loading your graveyard. It can also send other cards that you need in there. Just not Mezuki, obviously, because he's Earth, but still a very good card. Also, just a warning on this card, get it now if you're going to use it. Infernities are going to be very good this format, and Infernity decks usually use this guy, so this card will get sold out real fast if it's not already, so just snap this card up while you can. Summoner Monk, 2 of them. This is the same as the last deck profile. Not going to really go over it, he just makes XYZ plays for you. Then we got 1 Dark Arm Dragon. He's still very good in this deck. There's a lot of graveyard manipulation, and most of your monsters are dark. You can summon him almost every time you draw him, so it's great. So, as you've noticed, from my last deck profile, no BLS, no Gores. Now, this is just because the focus of the deck has changed. The Gores is a more defensive card. I am kind of considering it, but the deck is very full. BLS, I don't really go into Utopia as much as I did before, and for that reason there's not usually going to be any light monsters in your graveyard, so he's kind of a dead draw sometimes. And then also Effect Veilers, I'm not running any of those. This deck is more attack oriented and is trying to OTK your opponent, so I didn't feel it was necessary. They're definitely, Effect Veilers are definitely side deck cards though. So we're going on to spell cards here. So, 3 Book of Life. Monster Reborn is banned, everyone. So, zombies, they don't really care too much. They have their own Monster Reborn. It's called Book of Life, and it also gets rid of key cards from your opponent's graveyard. It's just amazing. Run 3. So, 3 Infernal Reckless Summon. I was talking about this earlier. This is a new card in my deck, and it just OTKs so fast with Blue-Blooded Oni. Just try and pick your time to use it when your opponent has one of their key cards on the field. Maybe you don't want to be special summoning 3 of it from their deck, but yeah, if you choose the timing of this card wisely, you can definitely OTK a lot with this deck. So we have 1 Foolish Burial that's just for graveyard setup. No need to explain. 1 Allure. Well, I know that you shouldn't be banishing your key dark monsters in this deck very often, but there are a lot of darks in the deck that you can banish for this, and the deck does need a little bit of draw power. So we've got 1 Book of Moon. I don't usually play Book, but I think Book is going to be very good this format, so I'm trying it out. If you guys don't like Book, then just go ahead and switch this out with some other card. I'm sure you can think of something. 1 Dark Hole, one of the staples that did not get banned, so let's all be happy for that. We need our field clear, and I just think Dark Hole is a great card. And 2 Mystical Space Typhoon. Now, since Heavy Storm is banned, I recommend you use 3 in most decks, but in this deck, the deck list was just so full, I couldn't find room for a 3rd MST. Maybe if you don't like Book of Moon, you can put in a 3rd MST if you want. But yeah, back row destruction is going to be really important in this format. Okay, so trap cards. 1 Compulse. Yes, it's limited, but it's still a great card. Pretty much the same thing for 1 Bottomless Trapple. 1 Torrential Tribute. This was my favorite trap for the last, I don't know how long. It's just such a great card, and I'm kind of sad that they limited it, because I really loved running 2, but I mean, there's nothing I can do about it. And 2 Mirror Force. Yeah, so this is one of the traps that didn't get limited, and I think it's actually great. This is the first time I've ever had 2 Mirror Force in the same deck, and it's testing very well. So I recommend you use 2 Mirror Force in this deck. Okay, so the extra deck. The extra deck might have changed quite a bit since the last time I updated this. I don't really remember, but we're going to start off with some of the staple cards here. 2 Utopia. Put this down to 1 once you get all your Cowboy reprints, if you want. That's probably what I'm going to be doing. 1 Photon Papilloperative. 1 Maestroke. I still have a C39 Utopia Ray. Don't really go into this too much. It will get replaced when better options come out, but as for now, it's okay. Kachi Kochi Dragon. This thing attacks twice. It's just really good. Abyss Dweller. I think there's going to be a lot of decks that this guy's going to shut down in this format, so I think this is a really important card. Master Key Beetle. This just came out. Really good card. Gem Knight Pearl. Okay, so you need this guy for Blue-Blooded Oni's effect. Well, you don't need him, but it's nice to get rid of his materials and not lose any of your effects. So I think he's pretty good for this deck. 3 Lavalval Chain. As I said before, the loop is still good. Keep playing it. 1 Roach. This guy's not that useful anymore. I used to really like him. He is good against certain decks, though. Synchro decks, maybe Dragoonies or something like that. So I keep him in my extra deck until I find something else that I can, is a better card. Okay, this is the best card in your extra deck. Violon de Sigma. Gets rid of every problem monster you can think of. Well, I mean, except like something that negates monster effects, but seriously, he kills everything. And the last card is number 32, Shark Drake. I still think he's a very good card. You can't use Shockmaster anymore, it's banned, so you gotta have something. And this guy he helps with your OTKs so much. He deals massive amounts of life point damage. Alright, so that was my updated zombie deck profile for the September 1st ban list. I do think this deck is going to be pretty good in the new format. The 2 Mezukis is just going to make your deck so much more consistent. Your combos are going to go off a lot faster, and I just think this is one of the decks that's going to be pretty competitive. So let me know what you think. Always leave a comment. I will normally get back to you in the first couple of days after the comment's posted. So just do that and leave a like. That's always appreciated. Subscribe to me if you're not already, because more videos are coming in the future. Update videos of my other deck profiles. I think the next one I'm going to do is going to be either the Herald of Perfection deck or the Synchron Quasar deck, one of those two, and because they are both updated for the new format. So anyway, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time, guys.